Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth for this two-game series between Akins and Austin High. Austin High tonight is the road team, and then you'll see it again on Friday, maybe moving to Thursday, depending on the weather later this week. But Austin will turn around and be the home team here at this very same field. In the interim, Austin High coming off a two-game sweep from Westlake. Maybe for some of you watching at home, that's about what you would have expected the outcome to be. We'll get more in that here in just a moment as we turn to the national anthem. Well, you heard him say it, play ball, and that's exactly what we're getting set to do here as well. The Maroons are getting set. They had the two-game sweep, and it is a windy evening here from Burger Field, so bear with us. We'll do as much as we can to mitigate that to the best of our ability, but there's only so much we can do. We can't sit in the press box. It's a little bit on the smaller side. But what we can do is see if Austin High can bounce back from last week. They lost the two games to Westlake, coming off the emotional high of getting the upset, stealing a game against Dripping Springs. Now you turn to a part of the schedule here where these are games that you should, and quite frankly, for your playoff lives, you need to win.
Yeah, there's no other option here, David. We've got to take both games of this series to have a chance of that fourth spot in the playoffs. So right now we're one game behind Del Valley and Bowie. Obviously we played Del Valley earlier. We still have yet to play Bowie. So that series is also going to be very, very important to us, but you can only play the next game, and this is the next game, so we've got to win tonight.
We'll start. Austin High is going to get the opportunity first up to bat. Now, Akins comes in tonight. They're wearing the light blue shirts on the white pants, the Austin Maroons. They got the maroon shirts and the gray pants, but they will get the start from the batting side of the lineup here. And so now the attention turns to our last couple weeks. They've struggled a little bit at the plate. Had a really good showing against Dripping Springs, but then you go into last week against better talent, a little bit harder to get on base, a little bit harder to score. Now can you shake that off and change that narrative coming into this series?
Yeah, that narrative needs to change with their leadoff hitter right here, James Scott. He's scuffled a little bit last couple of games after, earlier this season had a 14-game hitting string. At one point in time, I think he was hitting some insane number like 650 or something like that. So he's cooled off, quote unquote, to slightly under 400. But he's going to lead us off today, and he's going to be the critical guy to help us generate some offense tonight from that leadoff spot.
See the lineup on your screen. We'll give you the full rundown here in just a moment as Scott will take for strike one. And this one, he'll layer over to left. It will bounce its way off the glove of third base, and that will put Mr. James Scott on.
Well, there you go, getting on base no matter which way. That's good. Let's go ahead and run through the batting lineup tonight. So batting first, playing center field, James Scott. Batting second, playing and pitching, Jaden Besa. Batting third and playing left field, Drew Anderson. Batting fourth is number 2, Javi Godinez at third base. And we'll give you the rest of the starting lineup after this pitch.
And the wind up, the Sarge on the move, but this is fouled away, and so he will have to return to first.
All right, batting fifth and DHing is going to be junior Henry Shooter. Batting sixth and catching, number 21, Osby Contreras. Batting seventh and playing right field, sophomore Bodie Martiak. Batting eighth and playing first base, Fletcher Wilson. And then batting ninth and playing shortstop, senior Logan Kinney. Dane Calvert is playing second base, but is being DH for by Henry Shooter.
So there's the lineup set for you here tonight as Besa goes back to work. And gets it going. So we have one on here for Austin High in the Sarge, James Scott, and then you've got Besa right now working at the plate. They've got him down at an 0-1 count. Off the foul ball. And Sarge will advance down the line to second.
Let's go ahead and give the lineup for Akins Eagles. So batting first and playing center field, Lucas Croca. Batting second and playing right field, Kelso Barceria. Batting third and playing second base, Jack Podiak. Batting fourth and playing left field, Daniel Solis, as that was called a strike. Batting fifth and playing first base, Aiden Tinberg. Sixth and catching, Chris Gonzalez. Seventh and playing third base, Alejandro Juarez.
Besa strikes this down the line to first. They'll make the quick tag, but in his effort, it'll allow the Sarge to advance 90 feet away from the plate to give the Maroons their first score, with Drew Anderson stepping up now to the plate.
Batting eighth and DHing, Marco Ariano. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, J.P. Perez. And there is that big wind.
It comes howling in at you. It's blowing straight in from 401 feet away out in center field, as this pitch just off the plate here to Anderson. Ball one.
Yeah, this field plays big normally. When that wind's coming in, it plays like the Grand Canyon.
And the 1-0. This one ripped into the gap, and the Maroons will get their first score of the outing.
Nice job by Drew Anderson here. Getting that run home. Drew's been having a great year. Came into the game hitting .387. That just picked his average up.
Adds on to it there as Godinez fouls this one away down the right field side. One count here for Godinez. And this one well off the plate, a little bit high, so a 1-1 count. You know, sitting here, we can feel the wind kind of, the way this is set up as this throw is an errant one, gets past first base, allows Drew Anderson to advance on the air. We talk about, you know, this field, the way it's set up, you have this structure, which it's nice. It gives you a little bit of cover, protects you from the elements a little bit, except for that wind, which can wrap around here, like you said, can feel like you're in a tunnel. Or in this case, sound like we're calling the game out of the Grand Canyon, which I promise you we are not, but we cannot control the wind. As Godinez puts this one into the gap. Here comes Anderson, and he gets the hold sign from Coach A. He'll come to a stop, but that will put runners at the corners here in the early window for the Maroons.
All right, that's going to bring up Henry Shooter, 4 for 10 on the season, but 2 of those 4 hits, big bombs, home runs. He's our team leader in home runs, driven in 6, and has scored 2 runs.
Don't think he's going to be hitting a home run here tonight.
No, not at all. Well, who knows? We shouldn't say not at all.
We shouldn't say.
It would be a Superman heroic task to put one out with the wind blowing in today.
And blowing in when it does shift, and it's not blowing in from center field. It shifts from left to right, where left field is the shortest part of Burger Field, only standing in at 311, whereas right field out to 341. Shooter fouls off his first pitch. And Godinez on the move. And this throw from behind the plate tails back towards first. And it'll allow Godinez to advance safely. So it takes off the thread of the double play. And a 1-1 count here for Henry Shooter. Shooter lifts this one. Everybody tagging up. And that drops into foul territory. It was dropped. Anderson comes kicking across the dirt. He will score. Godinez slides in. He's safe. And on 2 for the Maroons.
Boy, I think Drew Anderson rung his own bell when he slid in there at home plate. He's kind of walking gingerly, but his head hit the dirt pretty hard in the back of his head. Wow. That was a very exciting play. Great hustle by Javi Godinez, coming all the way around from second base to score.
And you've got it serves as a sacrifice fly, essentially. It's just a little bit of it's not a routine sac fly. I'll put it that way. It gets lifted into foul territory. Heck of an effort from right field to come down and try and make the grab. But then I guess he drops it coming up. Shooter's still technically out. And then you have the ability of Anderson and Godinez to come back around and score.
So nobody on here. Osby Contreras up, hitting .256 on the season. Team leader in RBIs with 12.
He will lift this one into the stands, into the parking lot.
Also leads the team with doubles with 6. 883 OPS.
You know, now would not be a bad time for him to add on to that lead. He'll swing and miss at this one, and that'll set him down in the count 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the strikeout retires his side, but the Maroons jump out in front with a big top of the first inning. They'll score 3 to get you going here in the early window, as the Maroons get set to see Jane Besa take to the mound when we return. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vipe Live Network.
My missing teeth were in the front.
I fell off a roof, messed up my teeth.
I would be talking and my tooth would just fall out. That's when I turned to 8118 Dental Professionals.
When I first came in, it was so welcoming.
I just felt a connection, felt like family.
It is worth every penny because you get that peace of mind that everything is okay.
I can't stop smiling.
Why wait?
From implants to full mouth restoration.
Go to 8118dentalimplants.com to see how we can help you smile again.
Hi, I'm Jenny Covert. Welcome to Covert Chevrolet in beautiful Bastrop, Texas, where small town values drive big time savings. At Covert Bastrop, we understand what matters to you most. A good deal, great service, and dealing with people you trust. What matters to you matters to us. Rooted in family values since 1909, the Coverts have been serving Central Texas for 6 generations. We want to be your car dealer. Let us prove it. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop. Together, let's drive. CovertBastrop.com.
Welcome back in. David Roy, James Scott here from Burger Field. And in the early going, it is the Maroons who are out in front here, top of the first inning. Austin High rattles off 3 to get you started. And so Akins has got some ground to cover to try and close that gap.
Senior Jaden Bason, he's 2-3 for the year, 2 wins, 3 losses. He's got half of our wins as a team from the mound. Starts him off with a 68-mile-an-hour fastball. 14 walks, 9 strikeouts. That's a 79-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-1 count.
Three 3-1 count now. That wind comes whistling back in at you real quick. This lifted, Calvert tracking it, settles, and that's one away.
You're watching at home, you can see how much the wind is impacting that ball. When it first came off the bat, Calvert ranged to his right 3 or 4 steps, and the wind is blowing so strong that he ended up fielding that ball about 5 steps to his left. So anything in the air, whether it be outfield or infield, we're definitely going to have to be on our toes.
Wind up here from Besa. Besa fits that one in. That's strike one. Besa from the stretch. The 0-1 fits in for strike two, and it's an 0-2 count now here with one away in the bottom of the first. Wind up, this one, grounding over to short. Kenny cannot scoop it up, and that'll put a runner on for Akins.
Yeah, he looked like he's a little hesitant on that one. He kind of took a few steps in and tried to field it on the backhand.
I think he was a little bit, it got hit so softly, I think he was almost worried it might take a bounce. The way it kind of skipped a little bit towards him.
Bet you if he had a chance to do that one over again, he'd come in on a pretty fast pace jog and field it to his left on one hop. He does that a lot. Very, very well, I may add.
Besa will come back, get them to wave at this one, so it's an 0-1 count. One on, but one away here for Akins. And a throw back over to first.
So this is Podiak, their second baseman, 3-hole hitter.
Wind up on the 0-1. Besa fits this in. It's strike two. Needs only one more to record another out. And he'll come back, throws back over to Fletcher Wilson over at first. In Wilson's absence, who's been dealing with some arm soreness here that he's been having to work through, we've seen Ty Schreiber over at first, and of course, it's typically when Besa has been on the mound. When Besa has not, he typically has filled in at that first base spot.
Yeah, he's probably our best defensive first baseman that we have and has been for his entire career on varsity.
So it is nice, though, to see the return of Fletcher Wilson. Not quite back to the mound just yet, but good to see him out there contributing again defensively.
Yeah, maybe Friday. We might see him out there.
Or Thursday.
Thursday if we move it.
Depending on the weather. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere as this is fouled off down the line over to Godinez.
Yes, we're scheduled to play Akins again here at Berger Friday, but of course with Berger being a grass and dirt field, and a lot of rain expected Friday and then again on Saturday, there is a chance that the game is moved up to Thursday.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 recorded. And that's now 2 away here for Akins with still the runner on at first.
So stay tuned to social media channels, and if you're on the team group me's, we'll get message out as soon as we know.
Besa throw back to first, so catch him. Besa flips this over to Kenny. Kenny does not get the tag, and they will say that he is safe over at second. Right decision by Besa. Fletcher Wilson made the throw, but Kenny, I guess, just did not make contact in the effort to make the tag.
Yeah, both he and Calvert were very much against that call. We're not at the right angle to have a comment on that at all, but hard to imagine how the way he tagged him, he didn't touch him.
Yeah.
But got to get the hitter.
And this down in the dirt, and so that one will allow runner to advance.
So that's actually called a strike.
I thought it hit in front.
I thought the way Contreras fielded it, it looked like it bounced too. Maybe he called him as a swing. I don't think he did because I was watching him, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
And they got 0-2 on here. Umpire shows the 0-2 sign, so strike 2 with a runner 90 feet away, and there's strike 3 to retire the side and end the inning with one stranded. So Austin High does their part. J.M. Besa gets a strikeout to end the inning and keeps one on, and the Maroons head into the top of the second. They're up 3-0, and they're looking to add to it when we return. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vipe Live Network.
At Horizon Bank, we're from here. With over 100 years of experience serving Central Texas customers and headquartered right here in downtown Austin, we're proud to support our community and the athletes who keep it strong. Stop by any of our Austin and Central Texas locations and see how we can help you meet your goals. We'd love to meet you. Or you can visit us on the web at horizonbank.com.
Welcome back in. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth with you as always, live here from Berger Field. We're coming in to the top of the second inning, and up comes Bodie Martiak. to get you started here in the top of the second.
Martiak been doing a good job both getting on base, playing defense in the outfield, and then, of course, on the mound as well. Heck of an opportunity for this young sophomore.
Throw back in, that's strike one. Strike one, Martiak lifts this. And chasing that down, it's going to stay foul and unable to get underneath it. Still strike two. But that wind, you can see just how much it's affecting it. Right fielder had to get on his horse and try and make the play out there, and he still couldn't get to it.
That young man went a long way to get that ball, or try it.
Yeah, Bechera out there trying to track it down. And Martiak fouls off the 0-2. So 0-2 it will remain.
We do have a special guest going to join us in the third inning.
That's
legendary coach Glenn Botchak.
Hall of Fame legendary coach.
Absolutely.
As Martiak fouls this one away here, back behind the plate, so he will stay alive, battling down 0-2 in the count. Nobody on, nobody out as we open the top of the second inning, and Bodie Martiak still battling here from the plate. Takes this one well outside, and that'll be a 1-2 count. Wind up, down low and away, and that'll go for ball two. And there.
I believe he said he swung at that.
I was going to say, I believe he said he swung, but I don't think that he swung.
Nope, me either.
But they gave Martiak, I guess, a fighting chance to make it down the line to first. He just couldn't beat the throw. So one away. And this one down in the dirt, ball one.
Yeah, Fletcher Wilson, 3 for 22. One of those 3 hits, a big bomb, home run, 5 RBIs, 4 runs scored.
And he'll foul this one away for strike one.
Boy, we've really missed him this last few weeks when he's been down with that injury, especially off the mound.
Yeah, oh, no kidding. I mean, we talked about it, over the last couple of weeks, especially, the difference, I think, between last week against Westlake and the week before. We talked about on that Monday game how Besa went the distance, and then on Tuesday it allowed the depth for Austin High to come through. Because Besa went the distance on Monday night, helped Austin High to get the win over Dripping Springs. Didn't have that last week against Westlake. Westlake last week, you had to lean a little bit more into your depth. And without somebody like Fletcher Wilson, you have to turn a little bit more to some of the younger guys, and you put them into unfavorable positions through no fault of their own, but you ask a little bit more of them than maybe needs to be asked of them, or perhaps that they're ready to be asked of. As 2 away on the strike 3, and brings us back here to Logan Kenny before we are set to turn the order over. Kenny lifts that one. That'll be a base hit. Gets it through the gap between third and short. And Kenny gets on with a base hit.
That's what they call him, a man, a rope. He just hit a rope to left field. So that brings up the Sarge, James Scott, 0 for 1. Did score a run. He got on an error on the third baseman his first time up.
Wind up, this one upstairs, and the throw back over to first. Trying to make the tag over there for Logan Kenny. Kenny able to tag up. And the 1-0, the Sarge lifts this one, and that'll drop into foul territory for strike one. And Bechara just can't, he's having a tough time getting over there from right field, just chasing those down. Certainly getting a workout, though, doing it today. As Scott lifts this back towards the left, this one drifting back towards the fence. Your left fielder, Podiak, able to range over and make the grab, and that will end the inning. The Maroons leave one stranded, but still lead 3-0. Jane Besa goes back to work when we return live from Burger Field.
Nance Orthodontics is committed to providing the highest quality orthodontics for the Austin community. Dr. Nance is a board-certified orthodontist and offers Invisalign and braces to create beautiful smiles. Our friendly team is passionate about creating beautiful, life-changing smiles for all ages. With the latest technological advances, patient comfort and happiness are our highest priority. Give us a call for your complimentary consultation today.
Welcome back in. David Arroyo, James Scott here, bottom of the second inning.
Base out in front, 0-2. Waste that one in the dirt. 1-2 count. Besa is the epitome of a change of speed artist, working anywhere from 79 miles an hour to 60. That was a 64 mile an hour curve.
This one grounded over to second. Calvert, weak toss over to Wilson because he didn't need much more to beat the runner, and that's one away.
Number 12, catcher Chris Gonzalez.
That brings up Chris Gonzalez doing the catching for the Eagles today.
This one low. Minder coming up in the third inning, our special guest. Hall of Fame, a Texas Hall of Fame coach. As this one lifted, Calvert there to record out number 2. Dane Calvert.
Nice job.
Number 24, third baseman, Alonzo.
Nice job ranging over there, battling the wind, having the soft hands and pulling that in.
3-0 lead here for Austin High, and they're an out away from bringing back up the 2, 3, and 4 hitters of the Maroons to try and add to it. Ball 1 here from Besa. Fits that one in just on the outside corner of the plate. Strike 1. But Jaden Besa, through 3 weeks of work, continues to look really good off the mound.
You know, he had a lot of good outings his sophomore year. His junior year was interrupted by a little bit of arm discomfort that he's, worked through, which is good to see. But we did miss him a lot last year off the mound.
2-1, that one skips down the line. Godinez cannot make the grab. It rolls into the outfield, and that'll go down as a base hit single. Could have been extra.
Yeah, that's a heck of a job by Drew Anderson over in left field, cutting that ball off and holding the hitter, Juarez, to a single on what should have easily been a double, but Anderson got over there, cut it off, and got it back in quickly.
Besa lifts this one. It comes back inside. And Arellano working here against Besa. This one fouled off down the line for an even 1-1 on the count here. 2 away and a runner at first. And Besa throws back over towards Wilson.
You know, we talked about how we're battling the wind out here. The wind's blowing straight in from center to left center. I swear that the Burger Center, the basketball arena, adds a ricochet to the wind.
Bounces off, brings it back into the field.
Between the wind blowing in, the big Burger Center, and this press box, it is crazy the way the wind is flowing right in here. It's like a tunnel.
Creates a nice little jet stream in here as Besa misses his own again for a 3-1 count here. That one outside again here, working against Arellano, who's in a favorable position. A 3-1 upstairs, and Arellano will walk. And that'll put runners at first and second. So I'll bring up Perez.
All right, Perez is the 9-hole hitter. Like to see Besa come and get him. It's the first time this evening Besa's been in any kind of trouble.
Swing and a miss. Contreras able to get over there. The 0-1 just off the plate.
Besa's nibbling outside, and then he'll come inside with the fastball. It's like a cat and mouse game.
Keeps working that outside corner. And away from Perez. Comes back inside. Perez fouls this one off towards the Austin High side of things. And that's a 1-2 count.
The pitch before was 61 on the outside. That last one was 72 on the inside. He's been up to 79 on the inside part of the plate.
1-2. Check swing. Contreras wisely makes a tag just in case, but was down low and in the dirt, ball 2. And it evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away and 2 on. 2s across the board right now, save for the Maroons with a leading 3 runs, as this brings us to a 3-2 count. Besa could not get Perez to chase outside. A payoff pitch. We'll see how Besa and Contreras play it. He'll step off. Not sure if Contreras maybe saw something to give him the indicator that maybe he needs to turn around. Besa, the windup, runners on the move. And that one was in the dirt. Perez will walk. So Jane Besa was heaping praise on him. Well, now he's gotten himself into a pickle. He's loaded up the bases with 2 outs. And that will give rise to Osby Contreras coming out and having a conversation at the mound with Besa.
You know, throughout this year, the crooked number inning has been our detriment. If we can get out of this inning with no runs scored, that'll go a long way at breaking that string. We don't want to give up. We're up 3-0, but certainly don't want to give up a crooked number here. This is Croca, their center fielder. Still nibbling outside. That was 63 outside.
1-0 count again.
Let's not get too fine on our nibbling. Let's throw some strikes here.
Besa comes back, gets him to chase. That one was off the plate, but this time he got him to bite. It's almost like fishing. You got to have the right bait out there to get him to go after it, and that time Besa gave him one. This one, not so much. Down in the dirt. Contreras able to block it. That's a 2-1 count here for Besa. From the windup. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Bases loaded. The tying run is at first.
Yeah, this second time this inning we've been at the deuces wild count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Curve, 65, got him looking.
Able to drop it in, and so Akins, they were able to load up the bases with a little bit of help from Besa, but Jane Besa, when it mattered most, he just wanted to make things interesting, I guess is really all it boiled down to. Wanted a little bit of pressure, and he's able to get out of the jam. It'll leave 3 stranded when we return. Hall of Fame coach Harry Bachuk coming our way when we come back. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vipe Live Network.
Hi everyone, I'm Gigi for Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC in San Marcos. We'd like to invite you to shop Chuck Nash, where we combine small-town hospitality with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Right now, we have over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, and a friendly staff to guide you through your purchase. Stop into Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC today and experience a new way of buying or selling your next vehicle.
Almost every day, banking touches some aspect of your life, from growing your business, saving for retirement, or planning for future generations of your family. That's why it's so important to pick the right financial partner. The good folks at Plains Capital Bank have deep roots in Austin, serving Central Texas owned and operated businesses for over 20 years, from commercial real estate to managing your wealth. You can find them at plainscapital.com or call them at 457-7500. And when you talk to them, be sure to tell you that my friend Paul said hello, member FDIC.
Hi everyone, I'm
Almost every day, banking touches some aspect of your life, from growing your business, saving for retirement, or planning for future generations.
Welcome in, everyone, live from Burger Field. David Roy, James Scott, and our very special guest joining us here in the top of the third inning, Hall of Fame coach, Mr. Glenn Bachak. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Great to be out here.
Great to have you here.
The most important part of having you out here is being a part of this. How are you enjoying your night so far out here with us?
Good ball game. Good ball game.
Helps when they're up 3-0.
Yeah.
Right now looking to add to it is Jaden Besa working off the mound.
So coming here to this ballpark that you coach many, many games at, bringing back memories?
Yeah, it's we were just talking about it. It's a lot of memories here, a lot of memories. Haven't been back for a little while, but man, a lot of good memories here.
What are some of your favorite ones from being out here?
Well, we had some really big playoff games here through the years, and we always wanted to play here. If it was our choice, we always wanted Burger. It was our home, and our fans came out a lot, and a lot of good playoff games. But we had probably too many to call.
I have a video that you're in. It was a home run against Bowie in a playoff game, I think in 01.
Regional finals, yep.
Yeah, the big home run there, and you're at third base giving the high five. I forget who hit that ball.
It was Jason Pyle, our catcher.
Jason Pyle.
Yeah, they called it the shot heard round Austin. Two Austin schools, and the winner goes to the state tournament. So it was quite a deal. The entire, all the way down to the right field corner was full. It was unbelievable.
So Nolan Mast shared that video with me. People were going crazy here.
It was an unbelievable scene, and a lot of that was a great memory there for sure. Yeah.
Now, talking about making memories, Drew Anderson over there, he's a linebacker by trade for the Maroons, but outfielder here having a heck of a senior season. He is getting beat up more today than he did on the football field, I think.
He took that one on the elbow.
A crazy slide at home, I think, gave himself a little stinger.
Well, and that's not even taking into consideration the Dripping Springs game a couple weeks ago where he came up, trying to go up and over the catcher. Got ejected for it. Of course, Coach, back in your day, that probably not getting ejected for that one, are you?
No, not in those days.
Yeah, linebackers back then would have ducked his head and shoulder and taken the catcher out, but can't do that these days. So, tell us, you started coaching with Austin High in '94?
The '94 season, yeah. I was there for the '93 football season.
Okay.
And the first season, baseball was '94.
I thought Anderson was going to take that in the noggin.
That was close.
Going to take that one across the back.
And you retired in
2016.
2016.
Yeah.
And I've got to thank you publicly. You have been a master of a lot of the statistics. We have every stat from '94 to today. We do have, I spent hours in the library, which is just a treasure trove of data there as Godinez pops that one up. The first baseman looks like an out. But so we have some stats going back to like 1903, 1907. Wow. But thanks to you, we have every single stat from '94 forward except for one that's impacting you, and that is the 2010 win-loss record. We cannot find that one. We have the pitching stats except for the win-loss.
Wow. I have searched and searched. I just can't explain that one. Don't know where it could be. I kept everything. I don't know.
Yeah, so if there's anybody out there listening that might have proof of the Austin High Maroon win-loss record in 2010, please send us an email at ahsmaroonbaseball@gmail.com. I am looking for that.
I know we were in the playoffs that year, but we lost to, I think, San Antonio Churchill in the playoffs, but I don't remember the record.
Now, you had a couple of sons, 3 sons playing here with the Maroons?
2 played baseball, and my youngest was a football player.
So, Rob, I spent, with all those statistics you gave me, I was able to kind of compile Austin High leaders. And again, it's not 100% because there are seasons back in the 20s and 30s that we don't have complete stats on. But since the games they played back then weren't nearly as many as we do now just because of travel restrictions and all, your son Rob is currently 10th on the all-time hits record with 81.
Oh, wow.
And Anthony is 18 with 67. Now, before Rob gets the one-upsman on Anthony, Anthony has a higher batting average. So you guys are even.
Yeah.
Anthony hit 328 over his maroon career, where Rob hit 296.
Wow.
How about them apples, Coach?
Well, if I'd have known that, I would have put Rob on the bench more regularly. You know? Golly. Only 296. Man. Oh well. No, he was. They were both on teams that went deep into playoffs. 97 and 2001. Rob was a junior. We went to the state tournament. He was a classmate of Jason Pyle that hit the home run, and Matt Goebel, who pitched that game. So.
Matt Goebel. So we had that alumni game that you well know in, what was that, in January?
Back in January,
yeah.
And I think Goebel pitched in that game, didn't he?
No, Goebel wasn't there. He was out of town.
Okay.
He was out of town, I think, that weekend.
Number 21, right
Miss
fielder,
him.
Celso.
Maybe we can get him this next year.
Yeah, hopefully so. He was pitched at Tulane and pitched in the College World Series, you know, when Tulane was in the College World Series. So, you know, those guys make you a lot smarter coach, you know.
That's true.
You turn smart. Come on. Done it.
Skip coming Fletcher Wilson. Base and this from Kenny.
Yeah,
Cut him off at third.
Bobby came in, gave it all he's got, made that play the right way. One hopped it over to first. Wilson couldn't scoop it. That scenario, probably a better job to come off the bag and almost block it like a catcher, wouldn't you say, Coach?
Yeah, it would have been saved two bases, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Calvert was backing it up, probably a little too close to be a backup because it shot past him as well. But now we have nobody out. Akins has a runner on third. Certainly need a strikeout or a pop out here. Infield looks like it might be coming in as Calvert moves in at second. Interesting, we're up by 3. It's 67 upstairs. We're talking about players that make coaches a lot smarter. You had some good ones throughout the years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Really good players, you know. Really talented people. It was so good to see them all at the alumni game. And I had some really good players. You know.
Oh, it was one of the best things about that alumni event, having Coach you out there, having all those players out there, all the stories that you all get to share. Some of them maybe you didn't remember it until one of them brings it up to you. You know, all those different guys. Who are some of those ones that maybe stood out the most to you, kind of that you remember from your coaching days?
Well, as far as I love the ones that were there, I remember like the Travis Eckert, who played at Oregon State, graduated in 2012. He was there, so glad to see him. Wow. Kids.
That is crazy wind.
Yeah, the wind is bad. Kids from my first few years there, it was amazing to see them, and hadn't seen them forever. And the thing about that is you don't really ever imagine you're going to get to see them. Everybody scatters and goes, but it was so good to get them all together, and get to see them. And Richard Cunningham saved me. I let him do all the work while I was kissing babies and shaking hands. And Richard was, what an unforgettable guy that was. Played at Baylor, and he was a really good player there and for us. Started as a freshman for us.
What a great human being.
Oh, yeah. He's that's the way he is. He's always been that way.
Yeah.
He could be he could be governor. You know, I think that's what they called him at Baylor. They called him Governor Cunningham. I think. We got to get out of this mess right here.
Runners at the corners here for Basin, nobody out. And this one a bit upstairs. He's up to pitch 51 now for him here on the evening.
You know, I know Akins has had a tough time scoring runs in district, so be interesting to see here if they put a first and third play on.
A little hit and run.
Certainly one of your most talented players coming through must have been Maimon Tucker.
Oh, my. Yeah.
The #1 draft pick.
Yeah, he
first
was
round draft
first
pick.
rounder. Sandwich pick for the Orioles. It was fun to come to practice. We had like 15 scouts sitting in the bleachers for our practice.
Now that had to be an interesting sight at Old Thorpe Field there in Austin High. 15 scouts in that little bitty bleachers.
And everybody talking to him and talking to me, and it was quite an experience, you know.
You know, we're trying to do a lot of improvement to that field out there. I'd love to get, after this pitch, your thoughts on that field. Whoa, that's driven.
Lifted out there, but that wind's going to pull it back in for Scott. Scott, the throw. Wilson can't get to it. And a run will score from Akins. Runner will advance from first to second, and Akins will pick up a run.
That is inexcusable. Two different guys. Our cutoff guy missed the ball, and our pitcher was sitting, and this had to drive you crazy. Coach is turning too red in the face, or maroon, should I say. The pitcher was watching the ball and not backing up home, which is where he should have been.
Yeah, it still hurts.
Coach is looking for his mute button here. That is not how you want to play that. Scott did a good job catching the ball, threw it in. Cutoff man is supposed to catch that ball, but certainly base has got to be backing up Contreras. That costs us 90 feet.
Oh, no.
The bunt, base out, quick flip with the wrist over to first for Calvert. And that's 2 away, but runner in scoring position.
Yeah, it's tough because you're not going to throw that guy out at home on that fly ball. It's just not going to happen. You got to concede the run and keep that guy at first. You know. But get out of it here, and we're in good shape.
Yeah, you keep the guy at first, and you're still on for a double play. And we've done a pretty good job of turning 2 this year. It's 72, low and away.
Just off that outside part of the plate. That one gets fouled off back towards the Austin High dugout as well.
So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. And Coach, I know we only talked about having you here for third inning. Could you spare a little extra time with us?
Yeah, sure. I'll stay another inning. My wife, she's got company, so that's somebody. One of my old players is there with her. Grable,
yeah. He's a huge supporter of Austin High.
Yeah, he's been texting me every game. When are you coming? When are you coming?
But he didn't offer to come pick you up and bring you out here, did he?
I didn't notice that, or pay my ticket or anything. Pay me to get in.
They make a Hall of Fame coach buy his own admission to the game.
This one, ground over, Calvert, bobbled it, throw over to first, in time, and that will keep the run from scoring and will retire the side. So the Maroons, they give up 1, but still have the lead by 2 now, as we'll see them come back up to the plate.
We were talking about the field. So when you first came to Austin High, what we know is Thorpe Field. I have the tape of it actually being dedicated, I think in '94. But what we know is Thorpe Field. How much different is it now than what it was when you first came?
Well, Grable and I were just talking about it. There was no fence. There was no fence, and the backstop was a chicken wire overhang and the plate was almost at where the back fence is now. Home plate was there, and there was a chicken wire overhang, and there was no fence in the outfield. And I brought Anthony and Rob with me when I got the job, and said, fellas, we got some rocks to pick. So we picked rocks out of the infield. They'll tell you the story. We were picking rocks for a whole day, just about. And luckily, our athletic director at that time was Wally Freitag, and he was very supportive. And he asked me what I need, and I said, we've got to have a place where we can practice, And they put the fence down, and they moved home plate out where it is now, and planted all the Bermuda grass, and AISD did that, and it was a big transformation. It changed, that was my main priority was we got to have a place where the kids can practice and you're not going to be scared to get down on the ground ball.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, as you know, we're trying to get enough money together to really invest in that field. We've got a right field fence, a new right field fence coming in. It's going to be wrapped in that black vinyl, so to make it a lot easier to see through to the hike and bike trail and to the lake. Wow. It won't be so obtrusive. But we've got to raise enough money to get the rest of that done. Ultimately, what we'd love to do is have the Maroons playing their home games right there. Build it out, and what a beautiful...
Oh, the location is unbelievable, really. Beautiful view of the city and hike and bike trail and the lake. And, it's great location.
It's going to take us probably at least $750,000 just to get kind of the basics in to do that, and probably to do it right, you're probably looking at closer to $2 million, most likely on top of it. We just put in about a $100,000 batting cage there that's covered with lights.
I saw it, yeah. I haven't been close.
Schreiers rips that over to short, and then the throw back over to first is in time, and so that'll bring up one away for Bodie Martiak to step up to the plate.
Right fielder, Bodie Martiak.
So I've got a name for you, Coach, one that I'm not familiar with. I'm wondering if you can add some commentary to it. Jason Gwalick?
Jason Gwalick, yeah, he was class of '97. He and Anthony were teammates and classmates. He was our second baseman, and I think he started for us. He moved up as a sophomore, I think, and started on the varsity as a sophomore. And he, good player, good scrappy hitter.
So it looked like he came on a lot later in his career, but he had a heck of a senior year. That raised his career average to .419.
Yeah, he was always a good hitter, tough out.
Wow.
Little guy.
I mean, to think about over a multi-year to average .419. Most guys never even hit .419 in one season.
Yeah,
he averaged it over multi-seasons.
Quite a hitter, yeah.
Low and inside.
All three here, so Martiak in a pretty favorable position.
So not surprisingly, Maimon Tucker leads all-time Austin High with hits, 114. Number two at 113 hits, Dexter Moreno.
Dexter.
You remember Dexter?
Absolutely. Incredible player. We played his senior year, we played a Saturday game at New Braunfels against New Braunfels High, and it went 12 innings, and Dexter was 7 for 7 in a 12-inning game.
Off day, huh?
No, he was 7 for 7. It's unbelievable. He could just hit, He hit a walk-off over that 311 sign against Westlake, bottom of the 7th inning here. One very memorable moment.
Wow.
He walked it off.
So, out of all your time at Austin High, was Westlake and Austin High always in the same district, or were there different classifications? Because when my brother played in the 80s, Westlake was a 3A school.
Yeah, well, they weren't in our district at first. When I first got there, they were in a different district. They were with Round Rock and that area, and Leander, Round Rock. But then they joined rapidly, and we couldn't get rid of them. They're still
Late slide over there by
Martiak.
Yeah, late slide. Hope he didn't hurt himself. Wilson took that off the hands. Logan 1 for 1. He hit a rope at his first time up down left field line.
Swing and miss at this one.
You know, I hope the team is playing relaxed. When we beat Dripping Springs, they were way relaxed because nobody expected them to win. And Dripping Springs played tight. And it seems like maybe right now, because we know that we've got to win this series, maybe we're playing a little tighter than what we would, or certainly what we did against Dripping Springs. Get there, get there.
Kenny's hit, fielded by second, and then the throwback to first. Kenny just can't quite beat it. And so that'll be the third out of the half inning and send us into the bottom of the fourth.
So we talked about Richard Cunningham. We talked about Jason Powell and his big home run. Nick Perez.
Nick was he's another one that came in and started for us as a freshman. Just a really great athlete, and they called him Benny the Jet from the Sandlot, I guess, because he was just a natural. You know, he started as a freshman for us, pitched as a sophomore, I guess. I think he was a sophomore. He beat Lake Travis on the mound, and the next day I got a call from the UT, from Tommy Nicholson, the UT. Who is this guy? And so they looked at him. He wound up going to Texas State, you know, and played there, but quite a player.
Here's a story for you. So when my son was probably 6 or 7 or something like that, we were down at Texas State watching him and get out a program. Here's this guy, Nick Perez from Austin High. I'm like, wow, James, you know, that would be the high school that you might go to. And this guy was at that same high school. He was an absolute stud at Texas State as well.
Yeah, he's just a natural hitter, shortstop, pitcher. You know, he did it all for us. He was another one of those guys that, you know, makes you smart. You know, makes you a good coach. You know, a lot of talent.
Sure, you did have some good with Travis Eckert. You mentioned earlier Wallach, Nolan Mast.
Nolan was a one of a kind. He's a tremendous leader. I mean, he pretty much willed us to the state championship game in 2001. He was our leader, our shortstop, leadoff hitter. And, really, the kids all rallied around him. He was just an unbelievable player for us, you know. Oh dear!
Right back up the box.
A little bit high. Fortunately, it bounced off the fence of the dugout.
That saved us 90 feet right there.
I was going to say, it was a big save at 90 feet. Mesa reached down to grab it when it got hit back his way, and I think he tipped it, but thought it still rolled past him. And allowed Kenny to come up and snag it. It's still one on.
Yeah, we have nobody up in the bullpen. Bases at 60 pitches. 33 of those 60 for strikes. There's another one right there. Double plays in order. Godinez hugging the line at third. Calvert and Kenny, double play depth in the infield.
You mentioned Godinez hugging that line at third. Man, he sure loves to hug that line over there at third. It's a pretty regular spot for him to be.
Yes, he is. You know, I don't know that he's played a lot of third before this year. He played a little bit out there last year, but I think he is far more comfortable going to his left, or he certainly plays the position that way.
Coach, how was it that, you know, through your time when you had some of those, did you have a lot of moving around to guys that you switch them around kind of like that from year to year? Or did you try to keep them consistently in one spot for the most part?
We tried to keep them in the same spot, you know. Tried to. A guy might play second as a junior, and then if we lost our shortstop, he might move to shortstop. But tried to keep him around.
Curveball 63.
Got a chance.
Got past Besa, quick flip back over to Calvert.
Oh, wow.
There's a double play.
I told you we've been talking about
you called that one. You called that one.
That was a heck of a play. Kenny had to come a long way to get that because it was a slow roller. And Calvert with a great turn at second to give us a chance. Normally, that's not a ground ball double play.
No, he didn't hit it very hard, but I can give the first baseman credit too. Nice little pick over there.
Yeah, that's Fletcher Wilson, absolutely.
Got a great stretch there to reach out, snag that, and just like that, 2 away, nobody on. Base and nears, pitch is 67 on the horizon, closing in on 70.
That was 69 upstairs. Again, base has been working anywhere from 79 all the way down to 61. So the quintessential upset timing type pitcher.
Pretty good pitch there.
Yeah, falls down. Don't get ejected now, Coach.
Okay, got to calm down. Got to calm down.
This one lifted. Martiak gets on his horse trying to get over there, and he just can't get to it. And that has been a common refrain for whoever has been in right field, both for Austin High and Akins tonight. Those that get fouled off over there, they just can't get over there fast enough to record the out. Base on the 3-1, off the plate to walk one.
All right, let's go get him here.
Lucas Rocca.
71 pitches.
Only takes one.
This is their leadoff hitter, Lucas Croca.
Wow.
Baser from the windup.
Good pitch.
Get him to wave at it.
So what kind of honor was that, getting voted into the Texas Coaches Hall of Fame?
It was, I guess, unbelievable is the way I describe it. I'd seen it. They get inducted at the coaches' school every year, the baseball coaches' school, and I'd seen so many and seen so many great coaches, and I said, it's kind of like, which one doesn't belong? It's me, but it was really an honor. It was really good because my family got to be there, because it was in Round Rock at the Dale Diamond area, and the induction ceremony. My family got to be there.
It's going to be out of play. Go ahead, Coach.
And my the whole family was there, except for my son who lives in El Paso. But it was, it kind of puts you in your place. My granddaughter was in the 2nd grade, and that day she told her teacher, said, I'm going to go to Round Rock tonight. My grandpa's being abducted. And so, like some aliens or something, I didn't know. But she was very pleased, very happy. But it was quite a deal. It was really something,
Well deserved. I got a record that says you do belong.
Well, it came unexpectedly when I got the call.
Foul it off.
You remember where you were at when you got the call?
I was walking. I walk every day. I usually walk to church, walk to mass, and at about almost a mile, and I got the call, and the president of the association called me and said, "Wow, you sure about this?" But I was taking a walk, and quite a deal, quite an honor.
Well deserved, Coach. Well deserved.
Oh boy!
This gets lifted. Anderson tracking it. Anderson's got it.
No, he's dropped.
Anderson had it, but he could not pull it in, and so a run will score. And they'll stop the tying run at second.
Number 21, right fielder Celso Becerra.
Well, he went a long way to get there.
Sure did. I thought he had it.
I did too.
I didn't think he had a chance when it took off the bat, but
Now that was one where the wind did not impact that. It's kind of, the wind stopped a little bit here, at least where we're sitting. You can probably hear it at home. We got to overcome. Now that tying run is in scoring position. And 62 outside. This is when the Maroons need to relax. Playing fundamental baseball. Big lead over there at second.
Besa steps off, keeps him honest.
Good pitch.
Gets him to wave at it, so a 1-2 count here, Besa. Just needs to put in one more.
There you go. Well, Coach Bachak, you have been very generous with your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate
Thank you
guys.
everything that you've done, for everything you've done at Austin High.
It's fun to be back out here, seeing the kids. You know, get nervous. Still get nervous. Drop, the tight game.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You have a great evening.
Thank you.
Coach Bachak, go enjoy the game. That was Hall of Fame coach Glenn Bachak, and we appreciate his time spending it here with us. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we're coming into the top of the 5th inning, and the Maroons, their lead's been cut to 1 on the other side. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vibe Live Network.
For Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC in San Marcos. We'd like to invite you to shop Chuck Nash, where we combine small town hospitality with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Right now, we have over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, and a friendly staff to guide you through your purchase. Stop into Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC today and experience a new way of buying or selling your next vehicle.
Welcome back in. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth. I understand that you at home may be a little bit disappointed. That's okay. We understand. It's a shame that we are no longer graced with the presence here in the broadcast booth of Glenn Bachak as Scott lifts this one into right center, and that is out number 1 here as we come into the top of the 5th inning. It's always fun, getting coaches like that, kind of get them in here and just sitting and listening to them talk, talk about the players and the history of it and some of the stories that they have, especially Hall of Famers like Coach Bachak.
Oh, the memories, all the kids and lives that they've impacted. He's won somewhere around 600 plus games. I mean, geez.
And you listen to them talk, and if, for those of you who just now may be joining us, I encourage you, rewind it, over the 3rd and 4th innings and go back and listen to them, because you hear him talk, and to your point, you talk about all the lives that Coach Bachak was able to impact. But you hear him talk about some of those players, a lot of them impacted him. You heard him how many times talk about, makes you a better coach, makes me a better coach, having them out there as Besa lifts this. It's skipped over to 3rd, and they're able to make that throw back in time to 1st, and that's now 2 away here for Drew Anderson to try and work with.
How about a little 2-out rally right here and have Drew Anderson make a big impact to the Austin High Maroons.
He's been doing well all season long, and he's found this one off. And you talk about Drew Anderson. We saw him a little bit last season and then again this season. Guy that, you know, he started out even in tournament play a little bit towards the bottom of the lineup, has worked his way up to being a consistent and reliable 3-hole hitter as he puts another one in play here over to third. Beats the throw to first. That's one on.
Bobbled by the third baseman. Juarez over there. Let's keep it going. That's a little break we needed. We were going quick. Scott goes for the first pitch. He's out basically a couple pitches in. We got some action here in the bullpen now, but we need to give Basis some time just to get a glass of water and catch his breath.
And he's closing in on pitch 80. This one off the plate.
It looks like Martiak out there in the bullpen. Godinez up. Godinez 1 for 2, scored a run.
You are correct. It is Bodie Martiak out there, although he is also working with Carter Hayton out there with him. So the two of them working together. And a 2-0 count here for Javi Godinez with a runner on. That one's down low as well. So a 3-0 count here for Godinez to work with.
So it's 70 at the top of the zone.
Goes for strike one. And Godinez gets walked.
Here's that 2-out rally we need.
Gets walked on a ball 4, so up comes Henry Shooter with Anderson in scoring position. Akins has managed to cut this down to a 1-run lead for Austin High. Can the Maroons extend it again? That one broke over the plate and then back outside, and that goes for strike one as Shooter didn't like it. Broke away from him. The 0-1. That one's down in the dirt for ball one.
Shooter's 0 for 2, flew out to right and grounded to the third baseman in the third.
The 1-1 count. That one's off the plate for ball 2. So Aiden DeLeon has his 2-1 pitch fouled away into the mask of the catcher and maybe even bounced off the umpire behind him. Two's wild. And that's upstairs ball 3. So we've got ourselves a full count here for Henry Shooter. Aiden DeLeon. Time gets called here. DeLeon. The payoff pitch.
There you
Shooter
go.
lifts it. Base hit. And Anderson rounding third. And he will score.
Nice job, Henry Shooter, just dropping the hammer on it, lining that out to right field and getting the run back. Nice job on the bases by Drew Anderson.
And Godinez able to wrap his way around, able to pick up third on his path, comes up 90 feet away from the plate, and that brings up Osby Contreras no better time than for him to pick up another base hit, maybe add to his lead of the team in doubles.
And RBI.
There you go, that too.
Yeah, he steps in 0 for 2 tonight, struck out in the first and grounded to shortstop in the 4th inning.
Contreras lifts this one. This being tracked by the center fielder. He dropped it. Contreras.
Oh, no.
Sliding. They're making a play for home.
Oh, he dropped it, too.
And he dropped that one, too.
That's Shooter.
Henry Shooter comes around and scores. Add 2 more for the Maroons.
That's a big hit right there, and they're probably going to give the center fielder an error on that, but nice job of Contreras driving that ball, just putting the ball in play. Nice job, young man.
That's a 2 RBI double for Osby Contreras. I know, like you said, they're probably going to give him the air, but
well, we'll see.
Well, you know, we'll give Contreras the credit here. Is
that's a tough one to give him an error on, man, because he went a long way to go get that ball. I think they did give him a hit on that, actually.
Yeah, according to the scoreboard out here, they added a hit and gave him one. And now a meeting at the mound. So Jason Martinez, by the way, will come in and courtesy run for Contreras.
Now batting number 44, Bodie Marniak.
All right, 6-2, no matter how they score it.
That's the score that matters.
That's true. And this is Bodie Marniak, who was just warming up in the pen. Marniak open stance.
And he'll foul this one away.
He's 0 for 1, walked the last time up, also struck out in the second. I do think they gave him a hit on that, so there you go.
I believe they did.
Nice job. Again, that was a long way that kid had to go for that ball, so that'd been a tough error to take, you know.
Yeah, it would have been extremely, extremely difficult. Talk about a 2-out rally, though.
There you go.
He got one going right here, and Marniak looking to add to it.
We're still at it. When I call something, don't jinx them. You, David Roy.
See, I'm not allowed to call anything.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? Okay. It's the play-by-play curse versus the color commentator curse. That's what we can chalk it up to. I say something, it becomes a problem. You know what? This is what it boils down to. You know, you, Mr. Scott, you're the Tony Romo of baseball, as it were.
God.
There you go. See, you know, you may, well, from a commentating standpoint, you call it, you know. It comes
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Well, he made a lot of headlines as a commentator for being pretty good at being able to dictate what's coming.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, you know, he was, some might consider him to be clairvoyant at times with his commentary. As Marniak fouls this one off.
I'm going to chalk it up to Coach Bachok walking a mass.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe that religion is what we needed here for the Maroons.
There you go. There you go.
That 2-out rally.
They might say they're living on a prayer right now.
There you go. I love it. John Bon Jovi.
There you go. This one, strike 3.
Yeah, 76 at the knees.
Now that'll retire the side, but the Maroons, they tack on 3 more in the top of the 5th and add to their lead. 6-2 here from Burger Field. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vibe Live Network. When we return, a bottom of the 5th, and we'll see if Basa's still working on the mound when we come back.
I'm Hunter Malloy with Prosperity Roofing. Central Texas got hit hard with hail this year, and Prosperity Roofing has been there to pick up the pieces.
My house took some damage in that last hailstorm, and Prosperity Roofing quickly worked directly with my insurance company to replace it with a way better-looking roof. They earned my 5-star review. I highly recommend them.
Everything important in your life happens under your roof. Let Prosperity Roofing give your home the roof it deserves.
Maroon Baseball is supported by Austin's oldest independently run pharmacy, Terrytown Pharmacy. Founded in 1941, Terrytown Pharmacy has been family owned and operated since 1950, and the Newberry family is loyal forever. Visit Terrytown for great customer service, incredible gifts, and necessities. If you haven't transferred your prescriptions yet, give them a call. Thank you, Terrytown Pharmacy, for your consistent annual support of Maroon Athletics. Terrytown Pharmacy, online at terrytownpharmacy.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Gigi for Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC in San Marcos. We'd like to invite you to shop Chuck Nash, where we combine small town hospitality with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Right now, we have over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, and a friendly staff to guide you through your purchase. Stop into Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC today and experience a new way of buying or selling your next vehicle.
Welcome back into Burger Field. David Arroyo, James Scott here in the broadcast booth. And we do have a change at pitcher. We actually have a couple of defensive changes, but we'll start with a big name off the mound here. Jaden Base's night is through. In his place from right field comes Bodie Martiak. And replacing him out in right field is Ty Schreiber. As Martiak just misses. 4-1.
This Pudiak, who's 0 for 1, struck out in the first, walked in the third, got all the way over to third, but did not score.
I tell you what, that's going to mess me up. You got Martiak and Pudiak going at it right now off the mound here. So
that's how Martiak wins.
Right now, he has worked himself into an unfavorable position as a pitcher. 3-0 count. Have to think that Pudiak's going to have the take sign on. Here comes Martiak, and there he fits it in for strike one. Pudiak was actually going to lay down a bunt. Showed it anyways, 3-1. Martiak fires that one in there. That one's just a bit high over the top of the zone, and that'll put a runner on with a ball 4. Nobody out. Martiak getting a lot of opportunities here this season for the Maroons.
That's going to pay dividends in the rest of his varsity career. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on today. And Daniel Salinas, or Salas, is up 0 for 1.
This one, a laser, and it skips past Logan Kenny. And there, the cutoff throw to hold the runners at the corners. But that was a laser, and it skipped right past Kenny.
So we have nobody out. Runners on the corners. We have a pinch hitter, Vasquez, in.
Two on, nobody out. Vasquez coming up here to the plate. And Martiak fires this one in inside. Ball 1. I think maybe he needs to change his shoes. sorry, Bodie, you're never going to live that down. I hate to break that to you for as long as we're here. Like, we're just, you know, you do it once, it stays with you. As as anybody well knows at this level in high school, it happens once. People do not easily forget.
It's all about the shoes.
A 1-1 count here. Martiak comes back after ball one, finds his own, and then calls for time, and he wants Contreras.
He just went to his mouth again. Remember earlier in the season he got called for a balk at that. Now, he was not on the rubber when he did it.
Well, he fires, and this one at his head, and runner will take off and pick up second base. So it takes off the threat of the double play, puts two in scoring position. Should both runs come across, that would cut the Maroon lead back down to 2.
He went, absolutely he did.
He tried to lift the barrel, tried to get up there for the bunt, and Vasquez missed. Strike 2, so an even 2-2 count, still nobody out, 2 in scoring position. And time called by Vasquez.
We do have some movement down in the pen. I believe that is Shooter.
Strike 3.
Yeah, he got a call there.
And it is Henry Shooter, by the way, working out there in the pen.
That's a big one out right there. Infield is still in. We need another strikeout or a pop-up.
This one fouled off back into the chicken wire here.
Good job by Contreras. Yeah, not letting that getting out of control. He held those runners. Martiak struggling with his control.
Yeah, I kind of saw that when he first got up there through 3 balls, and they were all in different locations. I mean, he worked everywhere from outside, over the top, back inside. He's coming low. He's just kind of all around the zone and just having a hard time putting it into the zone. There he misses high again. 2-1 count. But again, young, and all these opportunities will aid him in the future.
Missing upstairs, 74.
3-1 count. Martiak fires, down and away, ball 4, and that loads the bases. And that's going to lead to Coach A coming out and having a meeting with Martiak. Martiak pitched great in the Del Valley series when we saw him come in, pitched really well in the Dripping Springs series. Struggled last week, though, against Westlake, and struggling a little bit here again early tonight, 16 pitches in.
Well, one thing I noticed, when you're struggling sometimes, you need to take a minute, or a moment, I should say, more accurately, and just compose yourself. There's no pitch clock at this level, so he was working at his normal same pace, which is relatively quick. So it's good to see Coach A come out here and just kind of break up the rhythm, I guess it were.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're going well, you want to keep that rhythm. If you're not doing so well, you want to kind of break that rhythm. So good to see Coach A coming out here and doing that. And let's see if we can't come back and get this hitter right here, which is Chris Gonzalez, their catcher, who's 0 for 2. Popped out to the second baseman, Calvert, and grounded to him. So he's 0 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned taking a minute. Not sure if you saw this over the weekend. We'll get to that here after this pitch, but Marniak fires. That one's upstairs. Ball 1. Not sure if you saw this, but on Sunday, this kind of took headlines yesterday, is when I saw it come across my feed, is that in the Texas A&M Kentucky baseball game on Sunday, a little bit of controversy came up. Bottom of the 8th inning, Kentucky is on the mound, and they took their time very deliberately. Clock gets to 4:30. Game ends at the bottom of the 8th inning because the SEC, for those who may not know this, as this is struck, Kenny, throw to second, back to
Double
first.
play.
They'll turn 2, retires a side. The run does not score.
Nice job by Logan Kinney, Dane Calvert, and then Fletcher Wilson, I believe, or is that?
That was
Basin?
Wilson over at first.
Is that right?
That was Wilson over at first.
Okay, all right, nice job.
So they do their part. The Maroons, from Kenny to Calvert to Wilson, they do their part. They keep things under control. And they do not alter this 6-2 lead they've got going for them. Top of the 6th inning when we return. Austin High on top, 6-2. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vibe Live Network.
Do you need a haircut? A real haircut? One that's tapered or blocked, clipped or trimmed just the way you like it? Come let the licensed barbers at the Sportsman's Barbershop take care of you. The Sportsman's Barbershop is a friendly, no-frills neighborhood barbershop located in Austin's Brikerwood area. Our barbers specialize in traditional haircuts for men and boys, along with beard trims and straight razor shaves. The trophies and mounts donated by customers that line the barbershop walls serve as testaments to over 60 years of serving Austin. Give the guys a call, 512-459-9525 to schedule your appointment today, or look us up online at sportsmansbarbershop.com. The Sportsman's Barbershop, an Austin institution.
Welcome back in. David Arroyo, James Scott here in the broadcast booth. As we pull up the numbers here for you on your screen, you get to take a good look here at what's been going on.
We have 8, 9, and 1 up, and boy, howdy, wouldn't you like to score some more runs here?
Add to your lead. That should be the message here on display. Look at the Maroons, 6 runs scored on 5 hits, helped out by Akins committing 4 errors tonight. Akins, on the other hand, 2 runs scored on 3 hits. And they've been helped out. Austin High, per what is in the stadium here, 4 errors of their own. Now, whether or not, coaches go back in and alter any of that remains to be seen in terms of how they graded certain plays or score certain plays. But what matters the most is it is a 6-2 lead for Austin High, and Fletcher Wilson is stepping to the plate, looking to add to it.
Yeah, Fletcher 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to a fielder's choice last time up. Oh, wear it, baby, wear it. Any means necessary. That's what the helmet's for.
Ducked out of the way of that one.
Yeah, he's not throwing that hard.
A 1-0 count. The wind up, the pitch, and that's in there for strike 1. This one fired in there.
Oh, that's catcher's interference. Yep.
That gets Wilson on.
Oh, and that messed up. I think that's Gonzalez's hand. Oh, boy. You have a little bit of padding from the mitt, but not enough to protect against that.
Alfonso is working off the mound right now for Akins. But like you said, Chris Gonzalez took that one, and they are checking out that hand.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's hope he's okay. It looks like he is moving his fingers. That's good.
It's a good sign. I'm giving a minute here. Logan Kenny is on deck.
With Wilson on first base and Kenny here, top of the order coming up, you wonder if Coach A is going to want to sacrifice Kenny. You know, Kenny's 1 for 2 today. He hit that rope to left field.
I was thinking the way you were talking, I was thinking, I'm like, are you considering that, you know, we might start seeing substitutions? But
no. Not with the defense that Kenny brings you here in this close game, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe bunt Wilson over. It looks like Gonzalez is going to be fine.
Gets a couple throws in, works that glove. It looked like, I think he took out a second glove. I think he took like one of his batter's gloves to put it on and then slipped that in to his mitt, I believe is what I saw. Now they're working. He's still feeling out that hand.
All right, so he's ready to go.
He's got one of his batting gloves on in his left hand to kind of help give maybe a little extra cushion, help him out. He's taking the glove off and kind of flexing it out here.
We have an outfielder for Akins coming off the field. I don't know what they're going to bring Gonzalez out, I guess.
He was kind of waving. It's almost like he was trying to wave him off.
Yeah,
and they're going to pull Gonzalez.
Wow.
Which I think at this point, just conversation, he took the glove off and kind of shook out his hand. You know, at a certain point in time, have to protect the player from himself to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzalez trying to tough it out. And
sure.
Obviously, if my memory serves, he's been on varsity catching for them for a couple of years now. So obviously their best catcher. But, you know, at this point in the game, you got to make sure that you got somebody back there that can squeeze the ball.
Yeah.
So
don't want to inflict any more damage than what has been done, and certainly you don't want to risk further injury to Gonzalez as part of that. You know, you don't want to put him in a position where he's having to, like you said, tough it out. But also the other part of it is, you know, we talked about this earlier, 7 games left in the season coming into tonight. You know, you want Gonzalez to be able to be available throughout the kind of the rest of the season. And so, you know, pull him out, make sure that hand is okay. And we certainly hope that he will be able to continue play throughout the course of the season. He was feeling it. That hand's probably swelling and blowing up, and so probably put on the batter's glove to try and keep the swelling down so he can fit it into his mitt to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, that's a part of it. And so you got, you know, because at a certain point in time, if he can't get his hand in the mitt, you have a problem anyway.
Sure. I think they're going to take a little bit. You want to pay a little bill, make up for one of those half innings?
Yeah, we can do that. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Austin High, they've got a runner on first, and they'll look to go back to work. Alfonso working off the mound. Kenny and Scott, they're coming up next. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vibe Live Network.
Real estate companies come and go in Central Texas about as fast as the wildflowers in spring.
But when you're looking for a house, you're looking for a place to put down roots, a place to call home for years to come, which means you need a realtor with roots in the community, like Tate Property. Tate Property is a family-owned real estate brokerage located in Terrytown. We grew up here, we live here, and we work here, representing buyers and sellers of Austin's finest luxury homes, investment properties, and farm and ranch retreats. This is our passion. Give Tate Property a call at 512-474-8283. That's 512-474-TATE. Or look up online at tateproperty.com and let us know how we can help you today. Tate Property, exceptional homes, exceptional service.
After a tough game on the diamond or a strenuous day on the job, relief from those aches and pains is waiting for you at Somanos. Kiko is a certified flexibility expert and wellness practitioner who provides comprehensive bodywork, mobility coaching, and intentional breath work that allows the body to relax while relieving pain and alleviating injuries. Somanos offers a variety of therapeutic services to fit your needs and not hurt your budget. Relieve pain and increase your quality of life with Somanos. Move better, feel better, live better. 512-800-3064 or online at somanosbody.com. Somanos, proud supporter of Austin High Baseball.
Ready to turn your vision of the perfect space into reality? James Gonin knows that great design is where it all begins. With a passion for creativity and years of experience in both residential and commercial architecture, James knows how to bring your ideas to life. Whether it's your dream home or the next big commercial project, like the new baseball field for Austin High, James Gonin will make your architectural dreams a reality. More info at jamesgonin.com. James Gonin, architect and proud supporter of Austin High Baseball.
Welcome back in. We got ourselves a new catcher.
And you only missed one pitch.
There you go.
That was a ball outside, low and away. Logan Kenny up, 1 for 2. Does not appear to be bunting as he takes the second one.
2-0 count here, Alfonso. Well, you kind of have a little bit of the work right now trying to get on the same page now with your change in catcher. This one down low inside, and the way this is going, Kenny's going to take here at the 3-0, but if you're Akins, you want to see them fit this in here. For a strike. Fire that in. That's exactly what they do. They fit that in for strike one. And if I am not mistaken, can't tell the number of the catcher here. 3-1 count. And Kenny fouls this one away, trying to figure out who came out. It's from out of the outfield. It is Croca who came out.
Okay. Wow,
so they pulled their center fielder all the way in to play a catcher. Get you the name here in just a little bit of who took his place out in center field. Full count. Kenny fouls it away.
It's a big impact. You know, your defense up the middle is so key, especially in closer ball games.
Kenny strikes that over to third. That one got dropped. And so Fletcher Wilson and Logan Kenny, they are on.
And boy, what a time it would be for James Scott to break out of his little mini slump here. 0 for 3 today. He did get on and score in the first, got on an error by the third baseman. He's flown out to left and right.
1-0 count. I cannot tell, even through the binoculars, who is out there in center field. Not because I can't see the number, but because of the font, the light blue and the white, it's hard to read the number.
Well, let's read the number and read the defense right here. He's got to know that that first baseman is in his kitchen. He's got to put this ball down third base line if he's bunting.
1-0 count.
There
That's
you
exactly
go.
what he does. Bunts it down third. It'll roll its way back to
There
short.
you go.
And James Scott able to load the bases.
I'm a huge proponent of bunting, especially when you're in a slump, because somehow, call it crazy, but somehow it just changes your impact. And if you can just lay down the bunt a little bit, and it's almost like it resets everything, the world almost in your hitting environment.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up and went on a hitting string again. Nice bunt.
Ty Schreiber is currently at the plate.
Ty's first at bat tonight.
Anderson on deck, Godinez in the hole. Nobody out. Bases loaded here for the Maroons.
Infield is in with nobody out. That gives about 150% advantage to Schreiber as the hitter.
He fouls this one away down the first base line.
150 points in the normal batting average, 15%. Less room for the defense to adjust, and the ball gets on them a lot faster. Let's see if Ty can't put one through this drawn-in infield. Like that one.
He'll skip that one. It gets through the gap between second and first.
Oh,
and
God. Get to the plate.
Logan Kenny was called safe, but the Sarge and Schreiber come up to second.
We got to make sure that Fletcher Wilson stays out of the line of play. I think he was getting the bat.
I think he was trying to get the bat and ran the risk of interference.
Yeah, that would have been not good. Umpire did not call it, thank goodness.
I mean,
there was
got
no
away with
intent.
it.
There was
right.
no intent.
Well, and he was trying to, I think, clear the path,
Correct.
to make sure nobody's hurt. But
Mr. Anderson's up. Drew is 1 for 2 on the evening, but been on base all 3 times. Singled in the first, got on with a hit by pitch in the third, and got on an error in the fifth. He scored 2 of our 8 runs.
a wind up, and Anderson fouls this one away.
You can tell by the way Drew is swinging that bat. He's swinging with a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
More confidence than I've ever seen him have.
And well-earned confidence.
100%.
I mean, he has earned every bit of it. Wind up, and Anderson fouls off the 1-1.
I was talking to his brother Nick earlier before the game. Nick was a heck of a baseball and football player, wide receiver in football, I believe outfielder for the Maroons. A lot of talent in that Anderson family, thanks to Steve and Wendy.
The 1-2, Anderson fouls it away, stays alive. Nobody out, 2 in scoring position here for the Maroons.
Akins still with that drawn-in infield, so Anderson going with the right approach, just drive it through this infield, just like Schreiber did. And, talk about not jinxing things. Schreiber did exactly what we were talking about. That ball would normally be an out to second, but since the infield's so drawn in, they don't have enough time to react.
Right. This one's upstairs, and they're going to put that in the zone. Strike 3. That'll sit Anderson down looking. He'll go down on strikes, but it's only 1 out, and Javi Godinez still has 2 in scoring position to work with.
Javi Godinez 1 for 2, scored 2 runs, walked last time up, singled in the first.
Shooter on deck as Godinez lifts this one into foul territory.
Infield still in. I'm kind of surprised middle infield is in and not back at double play depth. Kind of like what we saw the Maroons do earlier this evening and turn it up the middle.
He'll strike this back over to first, and nobody gets sent, but that will record the second out and bring Henry Shooter to the plate.
All right, Shooter 1 for 3. Drove in some runs last time up.
One 1-0 count here.
There's a called strike. Infield is back now with that 2 outs. So 1-1 count on Henry Shooter.
And the 1-1 gets through. Pass ball. James Scott able to come across.
Good heads-up base running. We needed that run.
Puts one now 90 feet away from scoring another, and Austin High's 10th run of the night. Currently scored 9-2, leading Akins. Anderson 90 feet away. As Shooter. There's another pass ball. This one way outside.
There you go. Nice play, Ty Schreiber.
And Schreiber gets out there. Said pass ball, wild pitch, more
Yeah,
like it.
yep.
Way outside for ball 3. And the Maroons pick up their 10th run.
Schreiber got a good break on that one. Glad he slid and didn't go in standing up. That may have been called interference for an out, so nice job by Ty.
3-1 count here for Shooter. And that's outside ball 4. Puts Henry Shooter on first.
All right, let's keep this thing a-going. Brings up Osby Contreras. They did give him a double. Rightfully so last time up. Big double. He's 1 for 3.
He'd gotten his catcher gear on, or started to. He had to throw all that off and step back up. He's not like the Sarge. The Sarge will just walk up there and swing regardless. Contreras had to unfasten everything. And Contreras had to reach out, strikes that one straightaway center, and that will end the top of the 6th inning and send us into the bottom of the inning. But the Maroons add to their lead. They score 4 more, 10-2 lead when we return here on the Vibe Live Network.
My missing teeth were in the front.
I fell off a roof, messed up my teeth.
I would be talking and my tooth would just fall out. That's when I turned to 8118 Dental Professionals.
When I first came in, it was so welcoming.
I just felt a connection, felt like family.
It is worth every penny because you get that peace of mind that everything is okay.
I can't stop smiling.
Why wait?
From implants to full mouth restoration.
Go to 8118dentalimplants.com to see how we can help you smile again.
Welcome back here live from Burger Field. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth where the Maroons have taken a 10-2 lead as we turn to the bottom of the 6th inning here from Berger. We will get you a closed book on Jaden Besa.
Yeah, Jaden Besa, 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, none earned, walked 4, struck out 4, and he is in position right now to pick up his 3rd victory of the season if the Maroons can hang on here up 10-2.
They've got an 8-run lead as Bodie Marniak goes back to work off the mound, the wind up. And that was a strike that Contreras dropped.
Now, I wonder if Coach A is thinking about pitch counts and if the Friday game is played on Thursday, or he's just inclined to let Martiak go.
I would, yeah, you have to wonder. I would think, especially the way Carter Hayden looked, I think, last week.
And a lot of it probably depends on how confident he is that Fletcher Wilson will be able to throw Thursday or Friday.
That's true. Strike 2 here from Martiak. I think the other part of it, between Carter Hayden, Henry Shooter, and even with Logan Kenny, I know you don't want to take him out just because of how crucial he is and how good he is as a shortstop.
Sure.
But you could still get, an inning, maybe 2 out of Kenny.
Well, hopefully Way won't need 2 because we're in the 6th now. That'd be bad.
Well,
bad
I was referring to tonight. Like
Okay.
you could have him on Thursday,
Friday.
Friday.
Or Friday. I got you.
I'm kind of going through the list of guys that you're likely to see.
None of that play-by-play
Thursday,
jinx
Friday.
there, Javen.
Not trying to jinx it. It's, not what I'm going for. I would think at this point, you're up by 8. You're in the bottom of the 6th inning. I would say odds are, if I'm Coach A, I would just let Martiak kind of close this out and not trifle with it.
He's at 24 now, 25 pitches.
A 1-1 count right now. Fires this one in. There's a check swing.
Of course, the flip side of that argument is you're up 8 and get somebody else in there to get 3 outs.
Yeah.
Even if it was Shooter for 3, then you potentially have both of them available Friday.
Sure.
Or Thursday.
Sure. I think, maybe that's, the question I think that it comes into. Do you then, this could be the other, as part of that argument, do you pull in Logan Kenny, get somebody else, maybe some reps, add Short for that last half inning here tonight, give Kenny some more reps and kind of keep him, fresh? Because it has been, we have not seen.
Ooh, that's a beautiful pitch. 65 curveball. Started over the middle and broke in. That's a beautiful pitch by Bodie Martiak.
Finds strike 3, and that records the second out. Because you got to think, it has been a minute since we've seen Logan Kenny off the mound. I don't think we've seen him since the Del Valle series on the mound.
True.
So you might be inclined then, if that's the case, hey, Logan, it's been a minute since you've seen any action off the mound. Get you some reps here. Kind of get you back into the feel of it here.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to break the rhythm, though. I mean, you'd think that Shooter could get 3 outs.
Sure.
Let's see, I have to look up how many pitches Martiak can throw today and come back on Thursday. It may be 30.
If that's the case, he has just crossed that threshold. As he is sitting at 30 right now. It's a 1-1 count.
Wow, you can go up to 45 pitches on 1 day of rest. The 1 day would be tomorrow, of course, Wednesday, so he could come back. Wow, that's a lot of pitches to come on 1 day rest.
Right, no kidding.
But hey, they're young.
Bodie Martiak especially.
Sure.
As this is fouled off, being the sophomore that he is. So he's up to 33. If that is a concern, you want Martiak available, you're going to have to turn to somebody here, I would think, in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah.
Because he is up to 33 as it is. the question's going to be, do you want to put him back out there in the bottom of the 7th and then disrupt the rhythm by pulling him once he gets too close? Or do you just let somebody come out, bottom of the 7th, take the mound, and let them find a rhythm as Bodie Martiak at pitch 34 gets you out of the 6th inning with another strikeout. 10-2 lead, and the Maroons, they want to add to it when we come back here on the Vibe Live Network.
Hi, I'm Jenny Covert. Welcome to Covert Chevrolet in beautiful Bastrop, Texas, where small town values drive big time savings. At Covert Bastrop, we understand what matters to you most. A good deal, great service, and dealing with people you trust. What matters to you matters to us. Rooted in family values since 1909, the Coverts have been serving Central Texas for 6 generations. We want to be your car dealer. Let us prove it. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop. Together, let's drive. CovertBastrop.com.
At Horizon Bank, we're from here. With over 100 years of experience serving Central Texas customers and headquartered right here in downtown Austin, we're proud to support our community and the athletes who keep it strong. Stop by any of our Austin and Central Texas locations and see how we can help you meet your goals. We'd love to meet you. Or you can visit us on the web at horizonbank.com. Nance Orthodontics is committed to providing the highest quality orthodontics for the Austin community. Dr. Nance is a board-certified orthodontist and offers Invisalign and braces to create beautiful smiles. Our friendly team is passionate about creating beautiful, life-changing smiles for all ages. With the latest technological advances, patient comfort and happiness are our highest priority. Give us a call for your complimentary consultation today.
Welcome back here live from Burger Field. We come into the top of the 7th. And the Maroons, they want to add to their lead. And it's an impressive lead they have built up here tonight at Burger.
Talk about impressive. We have some viewers out there. We have 7 likes. We'd like some more. If you're a Bachok, Rob, or Anthony, and you've liked what your Papa had to say, give us a like. Anybody else, we just want to be liked, dear folks. Helps our metrics.
And you don't have, listen, you don't just have to like us live. Those of you who come back and watch it in post, you can leave a like too. It's okay. I am speaking to you in the future watching this as well, okay? It's okay to leave us a like and subscribe. Don't think that right is only reserved to those who tune in live.
Good point, David Roy. As Bodie Martiak works that count out to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Those of you who are tuned in live, don't go anywhere. After the bottom of the 7th, we will, assuming that Akins does not miraculously somehow manage to pull off 8, which would be quite something. But the way Martiak is pitching, I would say that's pretty unlikely. We will have some post-game interviews coming your way.
Now batting, number 5, Fletcher Wilson.
Hear from your Maroons tonight, in addition to your Hall of Fame head coach. Swing and a miss here from Fletcher Wilson. Strike 1. The 0-1 from Alfonso. Swung on and missed. Which I think Wilson made just enough contact This one down in the dirt for ball one. And Wilson will foul off the 1-2. So he will stay alive and continue to work here at the plate. Fouls this one away.
I think they got off the end of the bat.
It just skipped its way over towards Coach Clark. How they were able to entice Coach Rocky Clark out of the press box and down onto the field, you know.
A lot of begging, banter, and a coaching stipend. How about that?
That probably would help. Probably be a good reason for him to come out of the box. And the 2-2 upstairs, full count. Fletcher Wilson in his return doing some work.
Hey, he helped with that catcher's interference the last time
That's
up.
right.
That started the big rally.
And here he's worked this back to a full count. And this
there you go.
Kept battling and rips this one into the gap. And it gets through the left field. Fletcher Wilson coming around second. And the cutoff throw will bring him to a stop at third.
Boy, that was huge. It's a single to center, go down as a two-base error.
Yeah.
Wilson's faster than I thought he was. He put on some jets and got around there real quick. Nice job, Fletcher Wilson. And Logan Kenny, 1 for 3 tonight. Got on an error last time up and scored. Also hit a rope to left field. Infield in again. See if it can shoot it through.
Would drive in the run if he can.
Oh,
This
there
one
you
he
go.
does. That one takes a skip off the mound. Past Alfonso, and that an RBI single for Logan Kenny. And an 11-2 lead now for the Maroons, and it brings us back to the top of the order.
All right, Scott stepping in 1 for 4. Bunt single last time up. I say that changes his whole dynamic and go off and get some more hits.
There you go. Can start it right here.
It's the baseball universe rewards you that way.
This will pitch way outside for ball 1 from Alfonso.
Big hole over there on the right side of the infield.
Thing's massive. You could drive a semi-truck through that.
Yeah, second baseman's playing a double play depth, cheating towards the bag. He's probably taking the throw, too. First baseman obviously holding him on, the runner on over there, Kenny.
2-0 count, third base in here on the grass. Kenny on the move.
Oh, no, Logan. Oh, my
and
God.
the ball got dropped, and so Kenny is safe.
Logan stopped about halfway or tried to stop, and he was like, oh, well, forget it. He was a dead duck if they had held the ball.
I mean,
Thank God they didn't.
Did somebody grease Akins? Like, did they grease him tonight? There's been a case of a few of these ones getting dropped.
Well, if we have 4 legitimate errors, too, that's not anything to write home about.
Maybe the ball's got grease then. Maybe that's why it is. Ball 4, and James Scott will walk.
All right, Ty Schreiber pulled it through the drawn-in infield last time up to get some runs home. There is a 10-run rule after 5. However, we are the visiting team, so Akins does get last at bat. So
You're also into the 7th, so I don't know that they would enforce that.
Well, true, because the Akins would get their last
Right,
at bat.
they would still get their last at bat.
Yep. So no matter what happens here, we will be playing a bottom of the 7th.
we do have a change in pitching for Akins. They'd seen enough from Alfonso. Stepping in now will be Alonso Juarez from third base. And I believe Alfonso will, from the looks of things, no, he is backing his way over to first. And they will move their first baseman over to third from the looks of this. Yes, Aiden Tenberg will move from first to third, and Alfonso moves from the mound to third as Alonso Juarez moves from third to the mound. That makes sense to everybody at home?
You might need a piece of paper with a pencil and an eraser.
Yeah, if you're listening at home, we'll run you through it again. So Alonso Juarez, been at third tonight, comes into the mound. And so your pitcher, Alfonso, who came in relief earlier tonight, he moves over to first. And then Aiden Tenberg will move from first over to third. No other changes to the Akins defensive lineup as it stands, aside from the one noted earlier when Croca comes in from center field to take his place behind the plate for the injury earlier.
We have a meeting over there at the bases, and we're ready to play.
And Coach A was meeting with Scott and Kenny, and they were over there still chatting. And
must have been discussing War and Peace.
I guess. Schreiber steps up to the plate here. 2 on. Only the 1 out. This one inside. 4-1 from Juarez.
War and Peace, Tolstoy, right?
Yeah.
You know what the original working name of that book was?
I believe I read it somewhere. Now I can't remember what it was.
War, what is it good for? April Fools, that's from Seinfeld.
Okay. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. Classic Seinfeld
there you
episode.
Go. I don't remember what season was that one in.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I've watched a good bit of Seinfeld. I don't remember that one.
It's the one with the Russian oligarch that Elaine is driving in the limo and he gets irritated.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that part of it. I guess I don't remember the War and Peace part of that, but I do remember that episode as a whole.
We're trying to entertain you guys up 11-2. That's what happens.
We break out a few things. Of course, I will say maybe it's me working from home this year comparatively, or maybe it's just because as a whole, I kind of feel like April's Fools this year got toned down a little bit comparatively. I will say, so I'm in a broadcasters chat or community, however you want to view it, as this gets fouled off. That's going to drop in.
Yes.
That stays fair.
It's bouncing away, too.
I wasn't sure it was going to stay in, but it did, and Kenny will score. The Sarge will come around and slide in, and that's an RBI double.
How about that deuce for Deuce Schreiber? That is just a flare double. It hit and it shot to the foul territory, allowing the runs to get going, the runners to get going, and get Ty over to second base.
Like you said, I thought too, it looked like it was carrying and was going to stay carrying. Out foul as Anderson puts this back up the middle and drives in 1. Here comes 2 from Anderson. So a 2 RBI single for Drew Anderson.
Boy, he keeps just hitting the ball well. My gosh, what a year he's having. That brings up Javi Godinez.
with a 14-2 lead, a runner at first, and only the one out. Lined up for Juarez, and that one, they'll give him the call.
Yeah, that was a ball outside, but that's what happens at 14-2 games in the seventh.
The umpires kind of help him out, try to speed along a little bit.
Yeah, Javi's not liking that. I don't blame you, buddy.
Here he'll swing at the 0-1, and that one a strike 2. Wind up. That one's in the dirt, ball 1. But Fish, I earlier thought that, in this broadcasting community, and so you have all these other broadcasters, there's a few that work for a minor league hockey team, and their April Fool's joke today was that the teams traded the broadcasters. The 1-2, Godinez fouls this one off. No question about that one, and so the count remains 1-2, Alonso Juarez.
There you go.
This one, Godinez lifts, and that'll go down as a base hit, and it's going to give Anderson an extra bag.
Oh, Javi.
And Godinez a little bit too aggressive.
What on earth are
Anderson
we doing?
was trying to take advantage of it and thought better of it, comes back and comes to a stop at third, but it does record the second out as Godinez maybe a little bit overzealous. A right fielder just kind of dropped it and it bounced off his foot. Godinez saw that and said, cool, I'm going to pick up an extra bag, and got caught about halfway there as right field able to recover. Anderson nearly got caught on his way to the plate and able to recover as well. Did pick up an extra bag, though, for Drew Anderson on the base hit. Now ball 1 for Henry Shooter. Juarez, this one down away. That's ball 2.
Shooter 1 for 3 in the evening. Walk last time up. Up 14-2 in the 7th. I'm not sure we need to be so aggressive on the base paths. Kind of like what happened with Westlake last week.
Yeah.
Sometimes enough is enough.
You're up 14-2.
You're up 12 with 3 outs to get in the bottom of the inning. Oh, boy. They just called that a strike. Again, that's a 12-run call by the umpire.
Like we said, help him out a little bit. And Shooter going to put this one back over to short. The throw to first is in time. And so he will not get the RBI. Anderson does not score. But it does not matter. The Maroons still pick up 4 here in the top of the 7th. 3 outs remain for Akins as we turn to the bottom half of the 7th inning. When we come back, you're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vipe Live Network.
Hi everyone, I'm Gigi for Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC in San Marcos. We'd like to invite you to shop Chuck Nash, where we combine small-town hospitality with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Right now, we have over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, and a friendly staff to guide you through your purchase. Stop into Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC today and experience a new way of buying or selling your next vehicle.
Welcome back in. David Arroyo, James Scott here in the broadcast booth. We turn your attention to the bottom of the 7th with the Maroons in control. 14-2 lead for the Maroons. 14 runs scored on 12 hits and 6 errors by Akins, while Akins has picked up 2 runs on 3 hits and 4 errors by the Maroons. And Martiak still working off the mound here, and he works this up to a 1-2 count. Again, the cutoff before he would be able to pitch on Thursday, assuming the game were to be moved in from Friday to Thursday due to weather, is 45. He's at 38 now with a 2-2 count. And this is strike 3.
There's no action in the Maroon bullpen. And with Shooter not out in the outfield, you got to think Coach A is just going to let him go.
Yeah, just let.
If he does, that'd be Martiak's first save of his young career.
One away, Martiak comes back in. That one off the plate, a bit high, 1-0 count. Fires again, that one's upstairs for the ball 2. Two-0 count. Wind up. Martiak fires and finds his own for strike 1. 2 outs remaining here for Akins. And a wave here. There's swing and a miss, strike 2. Not sure what the umpire was communicating there with that.
I think the hitter called timeout. I think the umpire was just telling Martiak that no pitch.
2-2. There's strike 3. So
Well,
that is 2 away.
Now here's an interesting one. He's at 44 pitches. Per UIL rule, if you cross the pitch threshold during that hitter, you can finish the batter. So if he gets the out here, theoretically, he could come back on Thursday,
yeah.
Which just seems nuts to me, but hey, that's the rules.
Oh, that one's upstairs, ball 1.
Let's see if he can put him away right here and earn his first save. And be available on Thursday.
1-0 count. With 2 away. The wind up. Fired in there for the 1-1. Fires. That one's just off the plate, ball 2.
I keep checking myself because, man, 45 pitches with one day.
Seems so out there.
It does.
That one's in there. No, just over the top. Ball 3 for Bodie Martiak.
Come get him right here, big shot.
Martiak winds up, fires, check swing. They'll look down the line. He didn't come around, ball 4, and that will mean that Bodie Martiak will not be available if the game is moved up on Thursday.
If he throws a pitch right here, that is a true statement. He's got to throw this pitch.
He's got to throw this one,
Yeah.
okay.
And it does not look like Coach A is going to get him, so this is his game here.
Does have a runner on first off the walk, and there's strike 1. Pitch 50. Martiak fires. Just misses upstairs.
If he can come finish this, I mean, that's going to get him some confidence for the rest of his career.
Sure.
Oh.
And instead, he'll put this one off his hip.
So you got to think a little working on the inside of Coach A's mind is you got Wilson, probably Thursday or Friday. You got Shooter, obviously. You got Jason Martinez.
Yeah, you have Carter Hayden.
So there you go. That's 4. Plus, you're not even talking about Kenny.
Yep.
So
that's most likely that's the 4. Now, what order you see them? Does Fletcher Wilson get the start? Do you go back to Martinez and let him get the start? We'll see what that yields. And we'll find those answers out on Friday or on Thursday, dependent upon the weather. Either way, that game will be played back here at Burger Field. And the way it looks like that first pitch, I believe it's currently slated for 7.
On Friday? No, Friday's at 5.
Did they move it to 5? Okay.
Yeah. So what's – all right, the Akins fans getting excited about those 90 feet. I understand. So it's still 14-2. Runners just moved up 90 feet. Yeah, the reason we're playing at 7 tonight is because Bowie is playing at Westlake.
That's right. Okay.
So then on Friday, Bowie's got the 7:30 game here. We've got the 5.
And Mardiak walks another, and that's going to lead to Coach A coming out and having a conversation, but a little 2-out rally going here for Akins. Now, what is interesting to note, though, for those fans at home, so Friday currently slated at 5 o'clock. It would be the last 5 o'clock early window game of the season, of the regular season, for Austin High. Everything else is either at 7 or at 7:30 for the remainder of the season.
Is that right? I did not know that.
It is. So next week is the one-off. You have a game at San Marcos. That game starts at 7, as it is the slated in the middle, district bye week, so to speak. You fill it with a non-district game. And then the week after that, you have, or the subsequent weeks after that, you have the Bowie series and then the Lake Travis series.
Hey, speaking about the rest of the district, quick score updates. Lake Travis is ahead of Dripping 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th at Dripping Springs.
Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
The Bowie and Westlake game seems to be over. Let me see if I can get a score on that one. Looks like Westlake ended up winning that pretty handedly.
Strike 2 here.
Looks like they won it 9-0. So Westlake over Bowie.
Shut Bowie out. No runs were scored as this one gets chopped back. Godinez fires on the run.
God.
He got it past Fletcher Wilson. That's going to bounce.
He did a heck of a job coming and getting that ball, but he threw that ball probably 3 to 4 feet outside of where he should have been.
That was way behind the bag. Pulled Fletcher Wilson off. It was so far behind the bag. Schreiber had to come running in to scoop it up and throw it back into the field of play. But 2-run score here for Akins. And that puts 2 in scoring position. With 2 away, Mardiak fires this one in for strike 1. Stretch. That was a beautiful backdoor breaking ball from Bodie Mardiak. This one skips. Contreras. It'll lead to another run scoring for Akins and putting another one 90 feet away. And Coach A come up and have a conversation.
He's just checking on Contreras. He can't go across that line because he'd have to pull Martiak. Again, just one way to kind of change the rhythm.
Right.
We were talking about that earlier. So smart move by Coach A.
Kind of helps Martiak to slow it down here just a little bit. He's given up 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th. Cuts this lead for Austin High down to 9 as this one just off the corner. And that evens the count at 2-2. Martiak fires this one in. There's strike 3. That retires the side and ends the night. It'll leave one stranded for Akins. But the Maroons do their part, and they get the win.
Well, we did what we needed to do. Hit the ball pretty well. We'd love to see us tighten up our defense a little bit. We threw the ball pretty well out there. You know, Jaden Mesa, bend but don't break. Picked up a victory. That gives him 3 victories on the season. So he's got half of our wins. So he pulls even. His record's now 3-3. Did not give up or earn a run tonight. And then Drew Anderson, a big game, 3 RBIs. Going 2 for 4, scored 2 as well. Hey, we did what we needed to do. We got to come back out the next time we play Akins and do the same thing.
Yeah, whether that's going to be on Thursday or Friday, but this, it's almost a get-right game for Austin High tonight, right? You get swept by Westlake last week after coming off that emotional high and that win against Dripping Springs coming tonight, and it's a get-right game in a lot of different ways, right? You don't have the inning where things get skewed safer at the very end, but by that point, you've already picked up your 14 runs. It didn't matter too much where you gave up 3. And then the other aspect of it is you got the bats going. You scored 14 runs tonight. Now, again, maybe not the same caliber of competition pitching-wise that you saw with Dripping Springs, with Westlake, that you'll see yet with Bowie and Lake Travis. But it is still a get-right game for Austin High. Now, can you complete that, pick up the win on Thursday, Friday, whenever that game is played, sweep Akins, and keep your playoff hopes alive? Still needing some help, understanding that, but you're going to need some help. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll see who we can grab here for a post-game interview live from Burger Field. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vibe Live Network.
My missing teeth were in the front.
I fell off a roof, messed up my teeth.
I would be talking and my tooth would just fall out. That's when I turned to 8118 Dental Professionals.
When I first came in, it was so welcoming.
I just felt a connection, felt like family.
It is worth every penny because you get that peace of mind that everything is okay.
I can't stop smiling.
Why wait?
From implants to full mouth restoration.
Go to 8118dentalimplants.com to see how we can help you smile again.
Huh? It should be okay. You should be okay. It won't be long. Just zoom in. Huh? Okay. Then zoom in on this one. Use this one and zoom in. Pan it and zoom in. So you're going to have to undo the... And then just kind of turn that down there towards them and then zoom in. We're going to turn it a little bit more, I think. All right, we're getting everything set up. And standing by, James Scott with Drew Anderson.
All right, hey, David Roy, we're here with Drew Anderson, senior Drew Anderson. 2 for 4 tonight, 2 runs scored, drove in 3. What were you thinking? Tell me what stood out most to you in today's game.
I just wanted to put the ball in play, get some people on base, and I think today we did really well with clearing the bases, getting a lot of runs on the board, and I thank my team for that. It's really good.
So talk to me about the play at home plate. It was an odd slide. I thought you banged your head. You said it's more your knee.
Yeah, it was my leg. I got to learn how to slide better, I guess. But I was watching the ball come in, so I probably shouldn't do that. But we got the run, so yeah, nevertheless.
So you've been swinging a hot bat all season long, man. This is the best baseball I've seen you play ever. Anything that you changed to kind of get it together? What's different, say, this year versus last year?
Well, I think I started off the season really bad hitting, like during the scrimmages and during practice, but I went in the cages a lot with all my friends and just started hitting well. I kind of changed my swing well. I don't know exactly what I did, changed bat a little bit, but just a lot of change, seeing the ball really well. So that's probably it.
Well, you're playing a heck of a ball right now out in left field. Actually, I'm going to ask you on that play, what happened on that when you went way out into left center field to make that? Then what? It just dropped it or what? What happened?
I think the ball died, but Coach A was asking me what happened, and he asked me if it was my elbow's fault. I said I'm not going to make that excuse. It's just happened sometimes. I couldn't really see it very well, but it was a ball I really had to get to, and I was a little in front of it too much. But hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Well, no doubt. I mean, you guys recovered. That's a big thing, right? And you ended up getting out. So thank you very much. Great game. Keep it going. Got another game to go get. Everything counts right now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Good job. Thanks, buddy. Back to you, David Roy.
So that was Drew Anderson. Had a big game here tonight. Went and did all that needed to be done in a collaborative team effort to get the win. 14-5 ends up being the final score here from Burger Field. The Maroons, they were in charge and in full control. And from start to finish, they ran the show and get the win. So, James Scott, we will sign off on his behalf, on the behalf of our entire broadcast crew. We've got Randy Fry back at base, our quality control assistant. Shep on camera is here tonight. That will do it for all of us here from Burger Field on a Tuesday night. Austin High, they pick up the first win in the series, Game 2, later this week. Stay tuned to know whether or not that gets moved from Friday to Thursday or if it will remain played as currently scheduled at 5 on Friday. That'll do it for all of us here from Burger Field. Austin High gets a win, 14-5. We'll see you back on Thursday, Friday night for Game 2 between Austin and Akins. On behalf of our entire broadcast crew, this is David Roy signing off, saying good night, everyone, here on behalf of the Vibe Live Network.
Hi everyone, I'm Gigi for Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC in San Marcos. we'd like to invite you to Shop Chuck Nash, where we combine small-town hospitality with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Right now, we have over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, and a friendly staff to guide you through your purchase. Stop into Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC today and experience a new way of buying or selling your next vehicle.